Only joking. Let's get rid of that because I am on shift and will be until 6:30, and I would never drink on the air. Welcome to my office/spare room. It is Wednesday the 25th of March 2020 and I'm broadcasting from home, and this is what I've set up. Some of this kit was here anyway, because if we come up here there's some legacy equipment, but on the left hand side it's my weather station server which is on 24/7, and that's the weather control unit there. So I'm using that computer to read out and collate traffic news, which is on the screen here, most of which I can't show you due to copyright and IP, but I think we've all seen IMRICS radio. The other stuff I've got on there are things like maps, Twitter, email, cameras and that sort of thing. And oh shit, look at all the icons down there. Well, again, don't worry, it's not sending or doing anything to audio because it wouldn't handle it. Again, normally this thing just sits here and does its job, but I'm actively using it at the moment. What I am using to send and receive and record audio is my laptop. This is doing as little as possible. It's got Call Me set up, and that's what we use to dial into stations. So we have Solent, Bristol, Wiltshire and Gloucestershire, and I've got a Smooth Southwest pre-record as well, which I'm emailing across. Normally in our Bristol studio we've got a bit of software where you can do it all in one. You record it and send it off. I'm using Adobe Audition here, an old version 1.5, which as we know is definitely the best, isn't it? So recording it in that, saving it and then emailing it across. Bit clunky, but it does do the trick. I have got my laptop. I've switched off the Wi-Fi and using Ethernet, which is much better. Other things we've got, well, this is my Zoom H2n mic. And you can probably see the levels just about, yeah, you can see them flicking away there. That's connected via USB, HD25s, radio control clock, and a notepad that I haven't used because there's not been much going on. I do have the advantage here as well, if we come round here, battery backup, which is that thing, and my router downstairs is connected to a similar unit, so if the power goes off for a bit, I am covered, which is quite nice. Obviously the laptop will stay on for ages anyway if the power goes off. Several niggly things. The microphone is permanently on. The only way of switching it off is to unplug it, go into sound settings or turn it down. I don't want to do that, and I'm not really fussed that it is staying on. I could probably write commands to switch it on and off, but I can't bother with it. There is a delay as well. If you watch my other videos, I sort of take my headphones partially off because the delay is about half a second to a second, which is quite a fair lot. My headphones are plugged into my laptop. Again, I could plug it into the mic, but I wouldn't receive audio successfully, so yeah, again, we live with it. The other interesting thing here is when I dial a station, normally it's instant. For whatever reason here, it takes about 5 seconds to dial in, which isn't drastic, but sometimes when you're in a hurry, it would be nice to have it instant. What's going to cause the least amount of bother? Let's try Bristol. So if I call that, you'll see it takes about 5 seconds to get in. There we are. Let's drop that before they before they get spooked out. Here I've only got 2 screens, obviously. Bristol, we've got 4, and even that's pushing it. I'd much rather have 5 or 6. Trying to do this on 2 screens is tricky. I'm constantly flicking between different tabs and screens when on the air. To that end, I've actually printed a few things out to help with that. So I've got some bus and ferry info down here and station out cues here. Now you would have thought me reading those out several times a day, that would be in my head, but I still like to have those in front of me, so at least I don't have to find those on the screen as well during a bulletin. The other useful thing I do have actually, which I can show you, is train departures, of which there are a lot of cancellations at the moment. So many. So it's nice just to read out, not every bulletin, but some of them, read out which ones are cancelled. So there we are, that is my makeshift studio, and I will be here for the coming weeks, months, who knows. 2 things to add. I don't have access to the police storm feeds data here, which tells me about accidents, broken down vehicles and whatever else. That's obviously invaluable. Here I'm not allowed it. I can get to it no problem in the Bristol office, so I do miss having that. The other thing is, when I set all this up and built this framework and shelving several years ago, a few years back, it was never designed to be a studio makeshift or otherwise, so the ergonomics aren't great. so it's crammed in, but I think it's done pretty well.